Let's continue reading the Bible. Exodus 2. Young Moses. Now a man from the house of Levi took as his wife a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and gave birth to a son. Now when she saw that he was delightful, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she took a basket of papyrus reeds, coated it with tar and pitch, put the child inside and laid it in the reeds by the bank of the Nile. They're doing this because the Pharaoh, the descendant of the Pharaoh, ordered all the young boys to be killed. His sister stood off at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe, while her maidens walked along by the riverside. When she saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her handmaid to fetch it. When she opened it, she saw the child, look, a baby boy, crying. She had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrew children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Should I go and call a nurse from the Hebrews to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter told her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Then Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will pay you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. After the boy grew older, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So she named him Moses, saying, "Because I drew him out of the water." Moses. Now it happened in those days, after Moses had grown up, that he went out to his brothers and saw their burdens. He noticed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. So he looked around, and when he saw that there was nobody, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Then he went out the following day and saw 2 Hebrew men fighting. So he said to the guilty one, "Why are you beating your companion?" But the man answered, "Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? Are you saying you're going to kill me just as you killed the Egyptian?" When Moses was afraid and thought, for sure the deed had become known. When Pharaoh heard about this, he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and settled in the land of Midian, where he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came and drew water. They filled their troughs to water their father's flock. But shepherds came and drove them away. So Moses stood up, helped them, and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, "How come you've returned so soon today?" So they told him, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. He also drew water for us and watered the flock." Hold on, what's happening here? This is actually interesting. It's like the false shepherds, right? The ones who are like thieves. Moses put an end to them. The way I read this is completely different than I think most people read it. This is a really wise writing, very clever. I've said before that God did not need to drown the world. He just needed a wise believer to write that he did. And it was Christ who revealed that Moses wrote about me. That's what the story of the ark is about. There was never a literal boat or anything like that. That's just a story that Moses wrote to people in a way that they would understand. I do remember there's a part here in Exodus where it's kind of revealed that Moses became a learned man in the ways of the Egyptian court. Right? So it's revealed that that's where he is drawing these legends from, pretty much. That's how I read this. I didn't notice this though before. How come you've returned so soon today? An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. He also drew water for us and watered the flock. This is a bit like what happened with Christ at the well, right? If you ask of me, I'll give you water that won't run out, the living water. Christ also said that the ones who came before are the thieves. These shepherds try to, I don't know, what did they try to do to these women? Nothing good, I bet. Anyway, where is he then? He said to his daughters, "Why did you leave the man behind? Invite him to have some food to eat." Moses was content to stay on with the man. Later he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah. She gave birth to a son and named him Gershom, saying, "I have been an outsider in a foreign land." Now it came about over the course of those many days that the king of Egypt died. Bnei Israel groaned because of their slavery. They cried out, and their cry from slavery went up to God. This is something that will have to happen in the world. Bnei Israel will have to groan in this way. So God will hear. God heard their sobbing and remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw Bnei Israel and he was concerned about them. God isn't concerned about Israel today. They are the one with the weapons. They are destroying their neighboring countries, exploding their buildings willy-nilly. Nobody can hold them accountable. God has no concern for that nation. Things will have to change so much that he will have concern for them again. Another thing that's interesting here is this name, Gershom, saying, I have been an outsider in a foreign land. The daughter Sipporah gave this name. I don't know what this is about, really. It's about a woman who found her place, right, with Moses. Anyways, reading this Exodus is gonna be really interesting. Like a lot of it touch on what we are about today. Yeah. All right, let's continue next time. If you have any comments, things you want to say, leave them. When we read the Bible, there should be some parts that stick out to us.